SEMARET WELEGIRMA remembers the evening when she used to prepare coffees for her family in her hometown of Adawa in Ethiopia's Tigray region. She says when the conflict reached Adawa, she and her family sought refuge nearby. But 2 months ago, she left to seek refuge in Sudan's Kassala state.
We left Adwa for Shire, which is also in Tigray. But when the new administration started issuing us temporary identity cards that didn't bear our identity as Tigrayans, I became uncomfortable. The card identified us as Amhara, which we're not. I felt they were erasing our identity, so when I got mine, I used it to move to the border and then fled to come here with my unborn child, leaving the rest of my family behind.
That new administration was put in place a month after the Tigray conflict began in early November between the Ethiopian government and the Regional Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF. More than 20,000 refugees are now here at this reception center in Kassala state. More than 63,000 have arrived in Sudan since the start of the conflict. Many say they feared for their lives despite the Ethiopian government declaring victory over the TPLF in late November. MOLGETA EZRA was a Sunday school teacher in his town of Bahir in Tigray. He says he witnessed Ethiopian forces arresting people simply because they were Tigrayans.
We saw them arresting more than 60 people at once. As someone who works for the church, I went to the prison to talk to them and found more than 100 others arrested. Some were beaten, some were badly hurt, and it was clear they had been tortured. I heard the soldiers accuse the prisoners of being spies, and some saying they're arrested because of their ethnicity. When a friend told me they may come for me, I ran away to Tigray.
Since the start of their arrival, many have reported witnessing people killed and say many have been targeted because of their ethnicity. There are fewer Tigrayan refugees arriving in Sudan each day than when the conflict began, but the stories of the horrors they've witnessed continue. The U.S. describes what's happening in parts of Tigray as ethnic cleansing, a charge denied by Ethiopia's government, which says it's willing to work with international experts to investigate any claims of human rights violations. Some refugees have been relocated from this camp to neighbouring Gadaref state, but authorities say not all are willing to leave here.
Some say they won't go to the new camps despite dwindling services here. They're holding on to the hope that the conflict ends soon so they can return home. But we're approaching the rainy season and this place is going to be cut off, so providing them with aid will get more and more difficult.
SEMARET says even if the conflict ends, she'll wait to see all those who've been re-identified as Amharas recognized as Tigrayans again. She says if not, she'd rather her child live as a refugee in Sudan, but with his real ethnicity recognized. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Hamdayet from the Sudan-Ethiopia border.